I would have started playing rugby at around 4 or 5. I initially started playing with Monkstown in Dublin and then moved to Old Belvedere after a couple of years. It would have been my dad really who got me big into the rugby. He's Australian himself and would have been heavily involved in rugby when he was growing up. So just growing up I would have watched the Super Rugby with him and gone to the internationals between Ireland and the Wallabies, and I guess he kind of convinced me to root for the Wallabies while I was younger. So then I went from Old Belvedere to where I am now, Corinthians in Galway. Definitely have to say David Pocock was a big inspiration of mine and probably still is. Just growing up, he was always one of the players who really stood out to me on the pitch, especially playing for the Wallabies in the World Cup in 2015. I was fortunate enough to actually meet him once or twice, and he's just a huge inspiration for me, the work he does on and off the pitch. When I was younger I would have played a lot of flanker and centre and kind of took a lot of inspiration from him and would have watched his game and tried to improve my game by watching him. I guess I kind of had to stop when I stopped growing and moved to scrum half. Well, my mom's actually from Galway. She was born here and lived most of her life in Galway. So as a family in 2015 we decided that it'd be a really good experience to come over to Galway for a year from Dublin. And we'd initially only planned to come for a year but loved it so much here that we ended up staying until now. So Tómas Farthing in this Spidéal, Scantarol and Nisa to Nakalish and Arga. Agus Noe Hume Huigan Manskul, Klosh Kriwer, so Spidéal. Agus rinne me an líbhantar tú géige ach camerarog will gachtain is Spidéal Harbor agus tá si dá an cinálta agus ní léon áits down cosla. So I played my first debut season with the Corinthian senior team. I was lucky enough to get a few appearances around Christmas time, and we've had an unbelievable season so far, getting promotion to 2A, which we've been looking for a good few years, and real credit to the lads for that, and looking forward to next season and the challenge. Yeah, it's obviously a big jump, and myself I wouldn't be the biggest, so I would say I struggled a bit, but you get used to the physicality and the speed of it is definitely a big jump as well. So I was initially involved in the Connacht under-15 squad, so I would have been involved in the summer and would have trained with the PTS squad throughout the year. I guess my under-16 and under-17 seasons were hugely affected by COVID, but then under-18s and under-19s I got a real chance to play some rugby and was coached here by Morgan Cadire and Mervyn Murphy, and during the PTS sessions, and got a good run at Interpros during the summers. Yeah, that year was an unbelievable year for me. It was my first taste of Interpros and properly playing with Connacht, and I really enjoyed it. And then following that I got a great experience playing with Corinthians under-18s and a halves, and we were unlucky enough not to win a trophy that year, but it was still an unbelievable experience. It was tough. But I always managed to find a bit of a balance. Like I'd be training here in Dexcom Stadium twice, 3 times a week, and then over in Loch George training with the Galway team for another 3 nights, and both sets of coaches were very accommodating, and I really enjoyed the balance, as I think playing rugby has its benefits for footballers and playing football really has its benefits for rugby players as well. So I was 4 years old when I started playing football. I started with Clonagale Fontenoy in Sandymount, and then when we moved to Galway I started playing with Spidéal. Spidéal's a great club, a lot of success over the years, and some great people and some great coaches involved with the club. I was also fortunate enough to be involved with Galway squads up throughout the years. 2022 was an unbelievable year. For me and for our team. We had a rough enough start to the season. We lost 3 games. We lost to Mayo twice and then also to Leitrim. But we had an unbelievable squad and management, and actually ended up making the final where we faced Mayo again, and third time lucky we beat them, and I was very fortunate to be voted Minor Footballer of the Year for the year, which was also great. Oh, it was unbelievable, and obviously people were saying, you know, it'd be great to play in Croke Park, but I think it was an unbelievable experience to play in Dr.Hyde Park, and with the unbelievable crowd that travelled, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And obviously Galway playing in the Connacht final this Sunday, what are we thinking?
I think there's only one right answer for that. A big aim for me now is just to keep developing my game and keep working with the academy coaches and the players around me to keep improving and pushing on, and especially for next year with Corinthians and being in 2A, to really push on with that challenge.